one of the things they did to you, which I don't know what kind of effect this has on the human mind, but like they basically told you they can access every single piece of technology around you in your house, in your apartment building. They can see you, hear you, smell you anywhere you fucking go.
Yeah.
How did they explain that to you?
Well, Internet of Things, IoT, which was something, I mean, it sounds like a silly name. It doesn't sound, but then it's like an abbreviation, IoT, Internet of Things. And it's this idea that I don't think is like 100%, well, not that it's not possible, but let's say, for example, you have like a landline. The landline isn't directly connected to the Internet of Things. It has to be like Bluetooth enabled or on Wi-Fi or something like that. But the idea is that they always would compare it to the way things are in China now, specifically Wuhan, which we'll get to that, and how all of that enables like a social credit system, and that it just makes oversight like super simple, and AI is kind of processing all the information. So let's say you like litter on the street in some Chinese town, like you're getting like a completely automated, but you're getting like a mark against your, and I'm not an expert in this, but I believe generally that's how it works, that if you do something that the government doesn't like, you lose some right.
Right. Full on, fully surveilled police state they live in. Like cameras everywhere. They have like AI monitoring systems that track your actual gait, like the cadence that you walk in that can identify you.
Horrifying. So yeah, even if you're wearing a mask, they can still tell.
And then that ties in with so their centralized currency. So like if you do get in trouble or your social credit score goes down enough, they could basically turn off your money.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything. Can't move, go anywhere. Can't buy gas. Can't eat.
Yeah.
Like that's very terrifying.
Bleak. Yeah. Orwellian. And that's what they were saying was coming here essentially through IoT, through 5G. That's like the system that will enable the ability, because I guess 5G is the bandwidth. And again, I'm not an expert, but it functions at such a high rate that it's able to enable AI processing everything that's coming from cameras, microphones, social media presence, everything to kind of like create a profile on you, and that you need 5G, I guess. And this is something we can look up or someone will comment.
So 5G is essentially, with the bandwidth of it, it's fast enough to process multiple signals at once and somehow analyze it, integrate it with AI in real time.
Yeah, and again, we need a fact check, but
yeah, Steve,
I think before all these towers and stuff started popping up, like when you walk around New York City now, at any given moment, you can look around and you will see at least 3 or 4 of these panels. Yeah.
What is this? So this is Google AI. For what it's worth, Google AI says that 5G technology is totally safe.
Yeah, we're friends.
Major advancement in wireless communication that improves the Internet of Things by enabling faster data transfer and more reliable communication. 5G's low latency and high-speed connectivity are making
IoT. That's the
IoT applications more effective and adaptable. Okay.
Okay, so that's
integrated supply chains,
remote vehicle maintenance, navigate. That's the crazy thing, dude. Like I didn't even realize when you were explaining on your podcast, like the Internet of Things, that includes any car that's like built after 1999, essentially, right?
Yeah.
That has like a radio or any kind of like wireless connectivity to it, which goes back pretty far. It's not just like Tesla cars. They're pretty much every car. And then your Samsung TV, if you have any kind of smart TV, they can access that because they have voice activated features on them, baby monitors. And there's videos. I've seen the videos of like baby monitors in like kids' bedrooms where a hacker will like go into the baby monitor and start talking to them.
It's so fucked up.
It's everywhere, dude.
Yeah. So, and that's just the beginning too. I mean, we're really at the, the beginning stages. Like I think honestly, like sometimes it'll say 5G on my phone and I won't be able to send a text message. So I think it might be maybe advertising. Essentially, it's this idea that like, look, we have 5G on our phone, but I don't know to what extent it's actually like fully enabled yet, because this implies that it actually works. And sometimes it says 5G on my phone, but there's nothing. But
so did you have any sort of confidence that they explained to you the Internet of Things and they have access to everything? Do you think they actually had access to your phone microphone, your phone camera,
100%.
your camera roll, all this stuff?
Yeah, because they cited very specific. For example, there's a video in my phone where I thought I was like making a documentary at the time, and I was wearing a hat that I got in Cuba with like the red star on it, and I was like ranting about like the state of the world and my dissatisfaction, whatever, however G put it. And I've never shared that with anyone. It was kind of embarrassing. So I wasn't like texting it to my friends. Like it was like a ridiculous ramble of just like me in my backyard recording myself. And they cite that video specifically and things that I said. And like I said, like I would put my phone every day. I'd go to therapy. I'd put my phone on the couch. And then later that day, they would message me saying, you talked about XYZ in therapy. Tell us more about that. Like verbatim stuff, like things that I know 100% never left the walls of my therapist's office for good reason.
And this is all an Instagram Messenger?
Yeah, that's the in the beginning I was like I said something about that. I was like, I'm sure you know that like there are certain agencies or whatever I said that can like, and they laughed it off. They said essentially like half of Instagram accounts are fake, and it's a very easy place to come and go, because like I said, at one point I reported them to Instagram, and they don't like open an investigation. If everybody who sent Instagram a message saying like I'm being hacked, like whatever, they just block it and they like close that person's account.
Yeah,
there's not like an investigation going into it. So it's actually they did say we could talk on Discord at one point, but I'm not a gamer or like a tech person, so I didn't have Discord.
I hate Discord.
Why? I don't know anything about it.
It's just complicated.
Oh, okay.
It's just too much work.
Yeah, so I stood no chance on Discord. So Instagram, but I guess, I mean, I guess they're right. They came and went very easily. Every time we would have a conversation, they would come from a new account with a Chinese name, 0 followers, 0 following, 0 posts, pop up, send me some messages, and then it would disappear. But strangely, actually, after some time, weeks or months even, the account would pop back up, but sometimes it would pop back up with a different name. So for example, like one of them is G, I think that's where I originally got their name. Like, I'll butcher the last name, but some Chinese last name.
Yeah.
And then that account went away. And then like months later, it showed back up, but the name was now one of the guys on my show, Glenn, who was involved in this from the very beginning. He worked at a restaurant in New York. I forget what it's called. It was called like Steakhouse. And the new name on the account that I had originally had the conversation with was now Glenn from Steakhouse. So again, in the column of like they're shifting these pieces around to make it look like, oh, I was just having a conversation with my friend Glenn. This wasn't a hacker, you know? But I don't know why it pops back up after some months too. I'm glad because it gave me the ability to record the stuff that I had missed and take the screenshots that I'd missed before. But
yeah, so it's weird that they knew about the screenshots and they had access to your phone. They didn't go in and like, I'm assuming they would have had access or the ability to delete the screenshots on your phone if they wanted to.
Yeah, there was early on I was talking to Glenn and he was like, if they're in your, he brought that up. He's like, if they're in your phone, like, wouldn't they not be okay with it? But they said to me, and again, this raises some questions. They're like, we know that you're talking to your friend about this. We know you're writing a screenplay. We know you have the screenshots, but we support, like, you're like a creative person and we support this, which is strange. But also kind of begs the question, which might, you know, there's more stuff comes out later about why this might be, but that, you know, why do they want me to tell people what they're saying? Like, what is it that they're saying that is, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it helps maybe from this point. I wasn't necessarily doing this at the time, but from this point in the story, even to consider what they're saying to me that's true and what might not be true, because then let's say I then believe everything, then I'm gonna say everything that they told me in this story, in the screenplay, as though it's truth, and that might lead people to believe that because they trust their character, like G's character, that they would know what they're talking about, that whatever they're saying is true. Is this, I don't know, this is a little convoluted.
I think so.
It essentially would lead me to spread misinformation.
Yes.
Which is like, you know, a very real campaign that internationally is going back and forth trying to, what were we talking about? Hypernormalization?
Yeah. Hypernormalization, like, yeah.
Nobody knows what's real anymore. And it's because people are saying everything everywhere all the time that you just don't know, you know, what to believe. So
yeah.
Could this be a tool of that?